Nour, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
Hey,
Mighty
glad
Brad.
you're here.
Appreciate it.
What's what's your take on the modern state of masculinity?
Modern state of masculinity. I feel as if right now we're in the peak of just making the whole quote of making men great again is something that a man would put a sign up passionately, ready for supporting his brothers. If any, this is probably the biggest time ever where men are just coming together. Male masculinity is basically talking from your nuts, making a decision for yourself, actually being out, going out there and be like, okay, I can actually do the thing that I want to do, or having a say of what you want to say, what you don't want to say.
Are you celibate?
Yes, sir, I'm celibate. That's a good question, bro. You been watching the videos, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I decided to be celibate about 6 months ago. Main reason for that is because I feel like I don't feel like I deserve to go out there and actually see women or do anything. It's not in a place where I'm not going out there having conversation with women or absolutely talking to them as if they're my friends or this and that. I'm not trying to be weird, but the whole thing of celibacy is that I feel as if when you go on NoFap or you're doing semen retention or whatever the hell it is, you're actually putting yourself in a place where you're giving more time towards the thing that you're working hard for. Now, if I go out there and I'm trying to talk to a girl, it is literally going to be in a place where I'm gonna hang out with her. When she texts me, there's a high probability where I'm gonna overthink what I'm gonna text her, what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna seduce her with this and that, right? And that's something that's just absolutely a full-time job, and it's on your mind 24/7, especially for a man that's working out, high testosterone, and you're absolutely dominating life. You're gonna be bound to at least have the thing just take over your time, take over your mental capacity. And I know myself to another degree. I know that as if in this world, if I don't get to a place where I'm so-called successful in the eyes of others, now for what people define as success, right? At least having a great business or a great foundation for a girl to come into it and embrace her femininity, then getting into the relationship and trying to figure things out because everything is corrupt, right? That's what motivates me to at least be focusing on myself to put out the whole quote that I'm celibate, I guess.
Right. Dude, I when I was like thoroughly doing NoFap and semen retention and being celibate, like I'm genuine. I'm thinking about doing it again because that time period, like I feel as though I made the most progress mentally, physically, and just throughout my days, just felt so much more, so much more masculine, and like I'm getting so much more done, and I'm feeling good about this, right? And it's like there was nothing holding me back. And of course, it when I first started, it was a time where I was still in high school and I didn't really have anything to worry about at all. Like I just went to school, and then when I got home from school and in the morning before I went to school, I focused on the self improvement stuff. Like that was my life, right?
Yeah.
And so things are a little bit different now because I graduated high school, but dude, that's and it's not. Oh, I'd like to hear what your experience is like because for me, I hear so many people where like being celibate and sometimes semen retention is so difficult, and at times where I tried to pick it up, it has been difficult to get back on it. But that first time, I don't know what was in me, but I was so motivated that like I was able to go over a year without doing anything, and it's just like after I got like to the month period, there was a little struggles of battling like all right, maybe I'm gonna do something, but you know once I got past those mental struggles, the first 2 months, it's just like it became a lifestyle.
Right. Well, to answer your question or to go by what you're saying, what people don't understand to even be able to obtain the whole concept of doing NoFap, it takes somebody that has to have a specific reason. You have to have a really good reason why you're going to commit to something that's actually brutally hard to do, right? Now, from my previous experience, I went to a place where I've gotten around. I don't like to count the days of NoFap. It's just this is my life. This is what I'm going to do. It's not like a thing where I'm going to tick off the ticks. No,
Right.
but yet again, I knew what month that I did it to a certain duration. It came down to like 182 days. Now, the reason for me cutting it out was not me, it was because of a girl, right? And then after that was more of a thing because you got to hit of that little thing, and then now you just want to continue coming back. But when for other people that are trying to get into like NoFap, people don't understand that it's just a tool. It's a tool to allow you to just tolerate more than the average person. Because I realize right now I'm in sales, right? Simultaneously doing the YouTube, simultaneously doing the sales, which I think everybody should be going out there and learning how to sell something. Um, and what I realize is that when I'm on NoFap and I'm working out, dude, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not the same person that I was before I committed to this whole thing. And I don't know if it's placebo, but if it's placebo, I don't even care as long as it's working. Because I'm out there absolutely sitting there talking to a human being where I don't even care about half of your life at a job that, again, I'm super grateful for. But there's times where it hits that, and I realize that it's so much consistent. There's so much consistency when it comes down throughout my day where I'm absolutely in my mind dialed in, ready to hear, ready to go, ready to do things that absolutely make me feel uncomfortable. And when it comes down to the whole celibacy thing, is just like I look at it as if this seed is so valuable that I've worked so hard to store it that other women will just start to smell that. And you'll see on YouTube like, oh, go on NoFap and you're gonna get all these girls. It's true, dude. To a certain degree, it is true because the more time that you spend with yourself, the more time you're actually going to be like paying attention to small little details. When you're on NoFap, you just feel as if an oomph of just testosterone boosting through the roof. So you're like, okay, that little hair that's in your eye over here that you don't usually see, you start to pluck it. You start to do this, start to look, trying to take care of your frame. And next thing you know, women are gonna start to sniff that, right? And then if this is gonna be such a tool to actually make you elevate yourself throughout life, because I don't promote, oh, it needs 5 years. I feel as if you've put your head to it, you can be able to do it in 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years. It doesn't have to be 5 years. So if you looked at this as a tool to absolutely bring your best version of yourself, right? And not paying attention to no women, people like, oh, be social, do this. And that's fine, dude. I'd rather put myself into the trenches where I'm absolutely not hating my life, where I just go into the darkness, where I can just look at darkness and make it my friend for a very good time, look manic, look sociopathical for a good, like for a certain amount of time. And then once I get there, then everybody can be like, "Oh, what the hell? How'd you do it?" Oh my. That's exactly what thing I promote, and that's the main reason why the whole thing of no fap and celibacy, it just makes sense. But it doesn't make sense to the person where, oh, I need to put my life on the line. I need to go hang out with this person. That's totally fine. But are you that desperate to get to the place that you want to be where if you're sitting on your bed and you're having a full on boner, right? And you can't go to bed. Dude, I'm literally in a place where this is more important to the point where I would literally not even know what's going on when I'm going to bed. Absolutely in a place where this is the purpose, this is the meaning. When there was times where I literally would be like, no fab, I need to get on it. And I would relapse many times. And the main reason for it, because I had no reason. I literally had no reason. What was the reason? I'm like, going to school, I'm going here. There's nothing that much. And when I found my calling, when I decided to do acting, I realized that it's not going to be the school system trying to give me my schedule, give me my time. When I kind of dropped out, was going in and out of being in school, I'm like, dude, I'm my own boss. And I'm like 17 at the time. And when I realized that, I started finding about law of attraction and NoFap. When I landed on NoFap, that was the biggest game changer. And when I knew it was that powerful, I looked back at it now being 22 and many times throughout the journey of coming back to that specific regimen and absolutely taking it and running with it, which I think everybody should too.
Right. Yeah. I think that for a man, I think it's absolutely vital to at least try it in your life. Like if you need to attempt it at least, or get on it for at least like 3 months time just to try it out. Like if after 3 months you're like, I don't see any difference in my life, okay, right, whatever.
Yeah,
But it's like if you're not really that happy, if you don't really feel that motivated, if you're like struggling to fulfill your purpose and stuff, it's like just get on it and see if there's any changes that are in your mental state and everything. Just see what happens.
exactly.
So I urge people to do that. And sexual transmutation is such a beautiful and amazing thing. Like that energy down there, bringing that up and using that, for your mental and for your purpose and for your passions and for your hobbies, taking that energy, that raw energy that's so prominent and so
Sacred.
sacred, yes, and so animalistic, but turning that animalistic desire into something more mental and more purposeful. It's it's an incredible thing what you can accomplish if you take that energy and use it for something else. Because that desire that you feel to do that, it's like, imagine if you felt that way about the purpose that you want to pursue, and
Yeah.
that hobby that you've always wanted to start. Right? It's like, man, it's a beautiful thing.
And plus something that you can think about, you look so pathetic. Like if you look at a bird's eye view, like if you were in a place where you created this world, right? And you're looking down at this creation, sitting there absolutely just disrespecting himself. If you really think about it, that was also one of the biggest motivations of me stopping that. I'm like, I look so pathetic. The first reason that it started, this is how I was able to shift the whole NoFap to another degree, was that I was like, I am not gonna do it myself. I'm gonna have another girl do it. And that's exactly what happened, right? And later on, it shifted to a thing where I realized that it took too much of my time. It took too much of my mental, and I realized that that was also in a place where it was just absolutely ruining the momentum. And I know when the momentum is actually ruined, and had to absolutely drop that, which I'm grateful for. But we are human. There are times where I'm actually sitting there and being like, damn, dude, I need this thing to pop. I need to absolutely put more work in. That's the main reason I'm putting a video a day, writing scripts every single day, coming up with ideas, trying to do better, right? Because it's like adding so much urgency. It's almost like there's a fire underneath my seat, and if I don't do it faster enough, I will burn, right? And it's more of a thing. It's not living paranoid. It's literally just that adding so much urgency that when I think about, hey, I really do want to go and entertain this girl. I really want to go do this. But then I'm like, that's gonna absolutely ruin the momentum. And that's for a person that's got it really locked in, dude. If you're half-assing it, right? And you're in a place where you're working hard, but you're also like effing around, but then you go like, oh, I'm not gonna go do the whole thing, women. That's in a place where you definitely have a higher chance of relapse. This is where a person
Right.
is absolutely manic, like literally just crazy about their workaholic lifestyle.
Yeah, dude. I mean, for me right now, I've been recording so many podcasts. They're not going up as fast as I'm recording things, but recording multiple types of videos a day and stuff. And it's like, the past few days have been going by, and I'm like I'm not even like perceiving time. I'm just like doing shit, and it's just like it's I don't even know. It's like something that I haven't really experienced that much yet. Like having the drive to do something so much.
Yep. And what's crazy too is that once you actually get your shit together and you're actually doing all the things that you should be doing, because the whole thing that, no fap ties to the whole thing of self improvement, right? Self improvement, I realized that there was a time in my life when I found self improvement. I'm like, what type of part of YouTube is this? Right. And what I realized is that I was literally waking up at 5, doing all of these things, literally all of these things, and I'll come around 12 and I'm dead, knocked out. And I felt like I was just literally my lifestyle was just trying to self-improve. Then I realized that what the hell am I self-improving for? Then when it came down to the whole acting stuff, I had an understanding where I kind of was like, where I didn't see anybody on YouTube being like, oh, this is just the things that you should be doing. That so you can absolutely just make yourself this type of person. So you can go tolerate more and do all this stuff. I didn't see anybody say it super direct. It was like, here's why you need to do this. Here's why you need to do this. Part of this day, part of this day, right? And when my whole point I'm trying to get to with you saying that, like, time being everything going so quickly is that when you have your days organized and you're doing the base of the day, which is basically like your warm up for the day, like going to the gym could possibly warm up the day. It could be stretching. It doesn't have to be anything when involving the gym. It could be something where like doing a walk. Your morning routine where it's just the warm up of the day, where it's absolutely going to bring your best self when you see people. You can have your best first impression A, B, C, D. When you have your base rolled up and you're doing a NoFap, you're going to realize that your 24 hours are literally short as hell. That your weeks are just like when you go to bed is just taking a small little nap. That your years, when you put them short term goal, long term goal, they're literally super. It makes me realize we're on here for not that much time, dude. And even though you look back to past experiences, based on where you're trying to go and how soon you're trying to do it, there is a lot of urgency behind the matter. And it's literally like you can see that because you're like occupied and you're constantly doing things. And for a person that's got his months and weeks scheduled exactly to the T, and not to the point where you're getting too super obsessive of it. You just know exactly what's going on. You're gonna realize that NoFap and possibly being celibate is something that you need to do. Because I'm not planning on being celibate for the rest of my life. Are you kidding me, dude? Like I'm honestly I saw this thing about there's two men in this world, right? There's a man that's a lover boy, and there's a man that's just like just a provider, right? I would say that I'm definitely a both, but I feel like I am a lover boy. I definitely would want to have a woman by my side. And absolutely, after my previous experiences, all the learnings, I'm not simping for no girl, right? But definitely, it would be kind of cool to have feminine energy in my life. You know what I mean? Um, but yet again, it's more of a thing where I need to get a lot of things done. I didn't do anything that's deserving of me going out there. And it's funny that when I do a small little accomplishment, this is the funniest thing. And I'll have possibly like one friend that's related to me that he'll probably express some of the things to him. And they'll mention like, "Oh, yeah, you're good, dude. Like, congratulations. This is super good." I'm just literally looking at this person. I'm like, dude, you don't even know how much work that needs to be done. And even though I'm literally spending time where it's like not sleeping, not doing anything, and just absolutely just dialed in, it's almost like even when you're in those points, it's like there's more work to do. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
I know exactly how you feel.
that's what's insane. And it's more of a thing where you cannot it's like I can run in a circle, right? And just keep running in a circle as if I'm like doing all this work. And there could be like a squirrel on the end, like doing a little skip around, like barely even skipping around, working harder than working, like working harder and also working smarter. I think is that the whole saying? I think that's the whole saying. Like working smarter, not harder. There you go. Working harder, working smarter, not harder. Yeah. And that comes down to the whole point. It's not like I need to be doing work all the time, but if the thing that you're doing requires hard work, you're gonna have to do it. And then you can also simultaneously do the whole thing of hard work and also smart work. So yeah.
Yeah, and it comes down to, it's like going back to what you said before, but everyone, like when you were like, all right, I'm waking up at 5 and then I'm absolutely exhausted by 12. It's like you don't need, like, if you have these 10 new habits of self-improvement that you want to incorporate, you don't need to get all 10 of those things done or do all 10 of those things in the exact same day. Like, it's probably going to get to a point where, I know it did for me, where it wasn't even satisfying anymore of me getting done the meditation, of me doing this, because it's like at the second I get it done, it's like, oh, I have to get these 9 things done too, right? So it got so technical to the point where I couldn't enjoy the process. And I think enjoying the process is a really good part of it, because it's like, all right, if you're on the journey to make, I don't know, $1 million a year, and it's like, but you're miserable on the entire journey getting there, it's like, I don't think, even though you have $1 million now, it's not really going to pay off, because along the way you've built no good habits and your mind state isn't great. So you have $1 million, and yeah, maybe you can travel a little bit or spend some money on this, but like,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, when you're going back to sleep, you're like, I don't like myself.
Right. No, absolutely, man. I just think that just people overthink the whole concept of just self-improvement stuff. Like, when it came down to a point where I realized that this stuff is just to tolerate more and just to do more, completely shifted my mindset. And it was a place where I realized that the whole concept of, like, your feelings don't matter and then when it comes down to the world, like, if I was looking down at the entire world, like, I'm not gonna be looking at every single person's feelings and emotions. I'm gonna be looking about how the world changed and who the hell did it. You know what I mean? And self-improvement, look at a guy that's doing self-improvement, and it's a thing where they're doing it from 5 AM to, like, around 12, and a guy that wakes up in the morning, right, and smokes a cigarette with a cup of coffee in the morning, and then absolutely dialing in at 6 AM. You know what I mean? Like, for this guy that got the cigarette and the coffee, that's the warm up of the day, right? But we're not gonna come out here and start promoting smoking a cigarette and coffee, no, because that's not good for you, right? We're gonna be going out there saying the good things so you can last longer on planet Earth and get your mind up. But I know people that are just insane and crazy where they can do that and they're dialed in, right? And there's a higher chance, not even a higher chance. I guarantee that guy that's smoking the cigarette that's doing that is gonna get to his goal sooner, right? Maybe not last on planet Earth for as long as the other person. But the whole point of it is like, dude, just do the things you need to be doing and get straight to work. Like that, nobody on YouTube is going to be able to teach you that, right? Because the thing that you're working on, that's you. If it's drop shipping, whatever the hell it is, right? Of course, you can go out there and learn these small little things. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, it's your journey. Pick up on the things. Okay, go on the YouTube, right? I like Mighty Brad. I like Nour. Boom, boom, boom. Grab the information. Go back over there, right? You have a better chance that if I grabbed this book, right, and I started reading it, and I read one page compared to 30 pages, and I actually absolutely programmed that specific quote that I found super satisfying, right? And I started repeating and started saying to people if it mattered within conversation, than me reading 30 pages and not downloading any of the information, possibly getting one little thing, right? That is better than me going out to do the whole other, like the whole 30 pages than 10 pages. And that comes down to the whole thing of what we're talking about. Because at the end of the day, people are just like literally overthinking.
Right. Yeah, a huge trap I fell into, and I think so many people do when they start the self improvement stuff is, you know, you're watching all these videos and you're hearing everyone talk about these concepts, and this is how you make this part of your life better, and this is how you do this, and it's like, yeah, I can watch self improvement videos for 10 hours, but if I'm not doing anything with my life, you're wasting your time. It's
Yep.
as simple as that. And so what I was doing is I was watching all these videos, and I felt like I was doing something, but in reality, I was doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly. Yep. And I feel like, okay, and there's possibly somebody watching this video and being like, okay, man, like I really want to start doing self-improvement. I really want to start dialing in, but I have no purpose. Right? Here, I'll tell you what you should do right now, and this would possibly put you ahead of so many people. Get in on self-improvement. Find your warm-up of the day. It's gonna absolutely push you it's gonna push you on top of every average human being, right? Do it, get your physique up. Get your dialogue better. Learn to not stutter if you have a stuttering problem. Make that your purpose for some time. Learn a new language. And the second thing that you should be doing, right? Because all of these things I mentioned at first are going to absolutely take a lot of your time. The second thing is going to be getting a sales job immediately. Learn to close every single day. Learn to make money that you understand that, oh, if I went to a minimum wage job and Brad is absolutely not doing shit in the corner, meanwhile, I'm out there pacing in the kitchen and he's getting paid $13 an hour. I'm still getting paid $13 an hour. No, go get yourself a sales job that the amount of effort that you bring from your woman of the day and ready to take up on life will increase the money that you make. And you start to realize that first impressions matter. The things that you say matter. Your handshake, your gestures, every single thing matters. And that will put you ahead of so many other people. And if that's not your purpose, if that doesn't give you purpose whatsoever, I don't know what will. Because I guarantee you, once you're doing all these things, later on, you're going to possibly going to put yourself in uncomfortable situations or different settings to where you're going to find different stuff. And I feel as if that's a very strong pinpoint because it's exactly what I did. And I came back from San Antonio, being in a place where we could talk about that, maybe another podcast. But when I came back from San Antonio, I came back to California. I was in a place where absolutely rock bottom, and I made my purpose absolutely trying to bring my body back up, bring my mental, and I joined sales. And then a little bit after that, I'm here on YouTube, and here we are. So something that I think that would be very valuable for all you guys. Definitely talk.
Right. So what was the push in your mind as to why you wanted to start the channel?
The main reason why I wanted to make the channel is because when I was 16, 17, I broke free like Zac Efron senior year of high school, right? I wanted to do acting. I felt as if I had a calling to put a stamp on planet Earth at such a young age. And I did it. I put a lot of time. I mean, I didn't really put it the way I want to do it, but I did put a lot of progress to where I can look back at 17, 18, 19-year-old Norm and be like, holy snap. You know, I knew that I was green in acting as far as my resume, so I had to build it up, and I did over maybe 52 productions overall from theater, film, things that I've done myself, and I did pretty good. I remember one time before, like a month before it happening, I was like, "Man, I really want to get on Channel 7." Right? Ended up getting on Channel 7 right after, and I absolutely chased that. And around the top when I was also making music as well, and I was signed with agencies. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go to New York. I'm ready to do all this stuff. Then I found this girl that I was absolutely the quote unquote the love of my dreams, and I soon to realize that she was absolutely not. And all best of luck to her, but absolutely brought to me a place where I never thought I'd ever be in. You know, I thought I was at such on top of the world, and that opportunity made me learn a lot of things about myself, about what the hell I don't want, what I do want. Did I feel at the time that it was too much for me to take upon because I had such great momentum? Of course, I possibly hated myself, hated the people around me, whatever the hell it is. But when I came back, um, I was just like, "Yep, you know what? I'm at such rock bottom that I didn't even wanna do those things anymore." And I was making music. I was still doing, making songs and finishing songs and doing all this stuff. But then later on, as I was closing more and I was making money, I was like, "You know what? I just wanna get rich," you know? But then later on, I just started to realize that I'm always talking to people at my work, and I'm trying to put people on game. People see me change overnight, dude. Like, when I first joined my sales job, I looked like a little scrawny, like, I looked like the if you look at how I look like a completely different person. And people were just like, "What's going on?" And I just found myself literally just advising people, dude, that when a new person would join my job, we make friends, you see me overly trying to help him. And there's times where I would see him and I'd be like, "What's wrong?" And he'd be like, what type of wizard shit is this where you know what the hell's going on, what's not going on, you know? And I can really empathize with people. And I don't know why. I don't know why, dude. I genuinely care for fucking people. I genuinely want to see people win. Like men. Because I was in a place where I saw how it feels to be absolutely tarnished as a man, right? From a female, like being in a relationship. Like what I was in was probably just mild compared to all these other people that were getting it, right? And that was something I realized that if I don't take my shit seriously, then I will absolutely tarnish it. And it's funny because I'll see other people that went through the same thing that I went through, right? It's more of a thing of like, take my hand. I'm gonna save you, dude. And I'm give you the answers, and a lot of people are not understanding of it. But that's the cool thing about this YouTube stuff is that if somebody's struggling through it, can literally just search up a couple of searches and find somebody that's absolutely passionate and willing to just help them out and whatnot. So yeah.
Right. Dude, YouTube is like probably one of my favorite inventions that humanity has created because I can't even explain how much YouTube has helped me personally. Like if YouTube wasn't a thing and I didn't like discover certain YouTubers, I can confidently say I wouldn't be where I am right now. There's so much knowledge and so much good stuff on there, and there's also some bad stuff, but there's so much good stuff on there that just isn't being taught in the real world. So if this didn't exist, dude, I don't know where I'd be.
No, absolutely, man. It's funny because you watch like movies from like the 70s or like recreating movies from the 70s. You'll see how people are interacting at the age that we were at. And it was not like this type of intellectual like thinking whatsoever. YouTube, dude, I think as if I did not take up on YouTube, I would have to possibly go out there and make it up for the time. Like for all the learnings that I made on YouTube, I possibly had to make it up throughout life experiences and listening and like going through learning it all by myself, right? Because there's this saying of like, um, you're smart if you learn from others, and you're a fool if you learn from your experiences, right? To a certain degree, you know what I mean? Like if I went there and I said, "Hey, Brad, don't go out there and jump and walk down this path because you're gonna scar your arm for life." And then like you listen to what I'm saying, and then you go down there and you end up doing. You're a fool at this point. But if you listen to me, you were smart. So
Right.
I feel as if like YouTube, man, just put me very much ahead of my own self, I think, or my own potential of what I could have been if YouTube was not around, or even just the internet in general, which is super great.
Right, because there's a lot of experiences that you're just inevitably going to go through and you'll learn a lot from it. But there's also, you can learn from the experiences of so many other people so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that they did and go down that dark path. And sure, you're going to have difficult times, but, there's 10 things that, can be avoided and would be better if you avoided since you were able to discover and listen to this person as opposed to, dealing with that for the next 5 years and then finally coming out and having learned your lesson. You know what I mean?
Yep. Which is something that, if you don't have that group of friends, because one thing that I promote and I tell people to do is that, you have to find a group of friends, which I think, I would say a good percentage of is like 70% of men are within a friend group that's absolutely tarnishing them from allowing them to like become like that person that they want to be. Even when they're supporting them, they're not supporting them, you know? Even like these small little cringy jokes they'll make towards you, like when you're saying something that's serious and they'll be cringe, oh, like not taking serious. That's really hurting your momentum, right? And what I'm trying to say is that when you get to a point when you possibly turn that shit down or you're on your own and you're a lone wolf, um, you're gonna realize that like you're spending so much of your time trying to learn and spending so much of your time just trying to improve yourself, right? And you come to a point where if you happen to find some of the people that are just like you, you have to kind of like it's almost like an audition, right? You're auditioning for that friend spot and you show it and you get that spot by showing who you are as a Don, right? And then you could possibly get to a point where you guys are telling each other what to do and what to not do. But YouTube, man, or just in general, just the sources that you have, that could possibly be like that Don friend of yours. Because for an example, it's crazy, man. I've never had people reach out to me, be like, "Yo, man, you're like an older brother to me. Oh, man, I'm not spending any time with people, or I'm doing free consultation one on one. Like I literally go on there, just do it for free, put people on game, give them a little like one on one tip, and go off into the races, right? And these guys are literally not hanging out with nobody, right? Going into the darkness because it's just like there is another person that's just like you out there in the world. It's just until you find them, right? And if it's on YouTube, finding somebody where it's like, okay, this guy gonna put me on game. I can watch him daily, whatever the hell it is for what he has to say. You're better off watching this and up swiping up on TikTok and learning something, you know? And I think that's also the true power of just YouTube, man. It just gives you like that either an older brother or possibly something to fap to, which I hope nobody's doing.
And when you're able to develop yourself and get to a place where you're unrecognizable to the person you were 2 years ago, it's like when you eventually meet those people in your life that are similar are on a similar or the same path, or think on a similar wavelength, or you can have those deep conversations with them. It's it pays off. Like all your hard work that you do to get you to the place that you're at now, it pays off. Like when I first started to, meet a few people that, started to think like me, and the conversations we're having, I'm like, damn. When I first started, like I had nobody. It's like I was telling my friends this stuff, and they were laughing at me like, "Oh wow, why are you doing NoFap? That's stupid." They're making fun of me and stuff, and it's like, dude, like this is real stuff. And once you get to meet those people that benefit you and you benefit them, it's another level.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you can possibly get to a point where the person that starts to care for you will absolutely make you feel super uncomfortable about yourself. Now, I'm not saying insecurity wise, but based on the condition that you think, or like the capsule of what you think hard work is. Because when you go out there and meet like that one person, he's possibly very much outworking you to another degree, but he finds meaning in absolutely putting you up on his ship. You know what I mean? And take upon you and go out there in the world where he trusts you, you trust him. And when you just have a group of friends, just because it's like a status thing within your city, or if it's something where you just feel as if you can't go to the movies by yourself because you need to have a group of friends, or you need to laugh, or you can't go out there in the darkness being by yourself because oh, I need to have somebody by my side. Dude, you are so behind. Like there is so much work that's like the small little work thing. Like it's almost, for an example, let's say I'm going to the grocery store right now, right? And the first thing that I need to get is the vegetables and the fruit, right? And that's just the first thing. It's just, I don't even think about it. It's like, boop, 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 put it in there, right? Then I have to go think about what I have to make for dinner, right? What I have to think about making for dinner is what really matters. But me putting that fruit and vegetables is what I don't even think about. I just put it into the basket. Dude, that's exactly what people like when it comes down to the whole thing of you having these friends are holding you back. That is a small little aspect that is taken upon your mental and absolutely putting you behind. We need to get the hell out of that so you can focus on what really matters. it's almost like washing your face. They're not like getting up in the morning and brushing their teeth. It's the most simplest thing and it's an essential thing you need to be doing throughout the day. And something that's not getting done. And that's how much weightness to that specific topic, like that people just don't understand. And that was something that I went through, but it was more of a thing when I was sitting down in the group of friends. I'm like, man, I need to get the hell out of here. Like, I need to get the hell out of here. Like, I was in a point when I was a senior in high school. I was in with a group of friends, but I was like that kid that was a part of the group, but I would still get left behind on things, and I would not have like that much of opinion. I was more made fun of than other people. When I realized like later on, when I started to get a little bit good looking and started to get girls' numbers and this and that, I started getting a little bit more respect, right? And then as I became a senior, I came to a point where I was going to be like, just to give you a prime example, like I was going to be like homecoming king. Like I was on the line of becoming like a, I don't even know what they call it, but you're like one of the homecoming people, whatever
Mhm.
roster. And there was a point I was going to become like the king of that thing. And my own friends voted against me, right? So just think about it like in a regular scenery where you're trying to go out there and get that dream car of yours or that dream job. And your friends would be like, "Oh, dude, this is great." But when they walk off, they're just like, "Man, what? Screw this guy." You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, why does he have to have it? Why not have it?" You need to find friends that are able to clap for you when it's not their turn. They understand the concept of clapping for others when it's not their turn. Those are the people you need to find. And those people are well-rounded, can go to the damn movie theater by themselves. And that's not a specific thing, it's just more of a thing where they can sit within their frame and they're not envious to understand this is my journey, this is what I'm doing, this is what this guy's doing. I respect it. Principle, things I wouldn't do, ABC, etc., 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 etc.
Dude, 100%. Yeah, it's like along my journey of podcast, I made a bunch of friends that are content creators and stuff, right? And some of them are growing a lot faster than I am, right? And it's like, all right, this guy just hit 100K, and nowhere in my mind am I like, damn, why is he at that much and I'm not, right? I look at
Mhm.
them and I'm like, dude, that is amazing. Great for you, right? And stuff like that. But like if you have those friends that are like, yeah, you just got the nice car, man, nice, and it's like they're like, hey, can I go for a ride? It's like not really. It's what's in it for them. It's like it's the envy. It's not the actually being proud of someone just to be proud of them and not
Yeah.
wanting something in return, right? Because that's an important thing. Being there for people even if you're not getting anything out of it, right? Sometimes, you know, you need to help a friend or sit with a friend for an hour or two and, help them out, and you're not getting anything from it, right? Like you're not benefiting financially or emotionally or anything, right? But, you're helping them out and they need you right there at that moment. So it's like being able to do that and not, okay, let me get out of here.
Yeah.
What time is it? It's, like you just said, finding those people that can be on that wavelength with you and be proud of
If
you
you're
just to
watching
be
this,
proud of you.
exactly. And if you're watching this, here's a prime example. Or I'm gonna give you some tips and pinpoints. Me and Mighty Brad are gonna give you some pinpoints on actually how to niche down these people when you're going out throughout your realm in your life. Now, there was a time where I wanted to build a business, right? I've have experience in wholesaling houses, which is basically selling contracts. When I was in San Antonio and I was with a girl that was high maintenance, I was in a place where I'm like, I need to make money now. So I started knocking on over 200 doors. More of the story, coming back to California, I was like, I need to make a business now. And what I realized is that I needed a group of people. Now, how do you niche down the people that are going to be in your realm to where they're going to be possibly getting on your ship? Because what is a ship? In order for you to get from one point to point two, or from A to B, you're possibly going to have to. In order for you to get from A to B, it's going to be a group of people that are going to become in unity. We're going to explain on how to absolutely go out there and niche down all of the people that are going to be coming into your realm. Now, let's do this real quick. I like to use the concept of relationship, business ship, friendship. It all ends with the word ship, right? Because if you do not operate the ship correctly, it is going to sink, right? So, how do I go out there and niche out the people I'm going to bring on? I go look out there and I'm going to be so blunt, right? When you go look at somebody that does not look like he takes care of himself, right? He could possibly be overweight in a place where it's just smugly, he's not tucked in his shirt, he's not taking over his face, he's not projecting any of the things that sound any right, out the door, right? Second person, a person that's possibly in a place where he's got his shit rolled up, but he has that one little thing that you don't believe in. That could possibly be smoking weed, right? It could possibly be like overload of just girls. You know, he's just absolutely too invested in that stuff, right? Or in a place where clubbing is just here and there, out the door. Because think about it, that is going to be in your realm, in your life, and you're going out there and be like, and your friend is overload with the women, right? I guarantee you, I don't care how much principle you have, there is going to be a point between you and yourself where you're just like, damn, man, I should probably go give me some puss right now. Like,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Because what's gonna happen is since he's so involved in it, even though you're not, since you're spending time with him, eventually you're gonna get to that point. You're like, maybe I should start doing this, and you're gonna get off of your path.
exactly. So what you guys don't understand, that the person that you're going to be with has to be he has to be absolutely a different type of breed. That when you see this person, you're like, I want to be like this guy. I want to be like this guy. I want to be in this realm and absolutely learn from this guy, because I promise you this, a small little aspect in a person that is just a bug or a virus, right? The whole saying of you becoming like the people who you will become like the people who you're around is so true. And if that person has like that small little bug, it will spread like a virus onto you as well. You will literally become like the people you are. And that is pinpoint, period. And if you don't add weight to that, I promise you, dude, there is going to be a capsule to your momentum. There's going to be a capsule of how soon you're able to get to the things you want to get to. And the people around you will either make you or absolutely break you, my friend. So you cannot take any of these things lightly. And even with women, dude, like if you're in a place where you find sense of, oh, I need to go out there and I need a girl, my friend, if you're going to grow with a girl, there's a lot of times when you guys are growing together and you guys are trying to make the job happen and she's trying to make the job happen. A woman is always, she will find herself, she should always be in her masculine. There's always like a yin yang to it. But there's going to be times where she's going to yell, she's going to scream, right? And that's a regular thing. A woman should be able to do that to a certain degree, like doing their thing. And a man should be able to tolerate it. You know what I mean? Not being able to stay calm, cool, and collective, unfazed, right? And as you're going out throughout the journey, you're going to realize that you could possibly ruin your momentum being with women or being out there, being able to like, what I'm trying to get to is getting to the point where you're taking on the risk. You know what I mean? Because there's some people where even aside from like a woman, like just in general, like a friend that wants to go to the gym, but because your time is too consumed and he seems like he's like a prodigy, sometimes the people that are below you that would actually ruin your momentum too. Like for a woman that you have to like, you think that, oh, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna go live with this girl, I'm gonna go do all these things that are great. That can possibly ruin your momentum too, because you're investing your time into like figuring out this girl. Or I need to go do this. Even like the great things, what I'm trying to tell you is what you need to cut out. Because for an example, here's a great pinpoint for you to understand. Your family, my parents are wonderful human beings, right? Am I gonna go out there and give them the time of day like how I should be? Maybe not, right? However, when it comes down to like another person, it's like, oh, dude, I want to go to the gym. I want to do this. I want to do that, right? It's like that right there could possibly put you behind because you're going to be spending time helping this person, investing in him. Maybe he's possibly going to be a great investment that's going to leverage you, leverage them, right? But sometimes it's going to be a thing where it could possibly hurt you. And that's one of the main reasons why relationships is something that will it will possibly make you, but there's so much of a high probability it will break you, man. So
Hmm.
something to keep in consideration.
Yeah, one thing I tried to give up was trying to fix a girl. You know, it's like sometimes a girl will, make her way into your life a little bit, and she seems like, she's not really on a similar level, and it's like she's bringing you down a little bit. But you in your mind are like, hey, I'm a man. I like fixing things. Let me try to fix her. But what you don't realize is, most of those girls that are in that state, they're not fixable in the sense of like you want to help, you want to go on runs with them, and you want to get them in the gym with you, and you want them to increase their mental. they're not. They'll you know what they'll say,
They can't be fixed,
they,
man. They can't be fixed, man.
bro,
They
bro,
can't be
bro,
fixed.
bro. My first girlfriend, I said all this stuff to her, all this stuff to her. I'm trying to get get her on this stuff, and she's like, yeah, yeah, we'll do it. Never happened. It never happened. So
No,
you got to find
no.
yourself a girl that's already in the gym, already trying to make her life better, and then
If
then
her
that's a much
father,
better.
if her father is in authority for her to operate, why the hell would she find sense in you coming in there and telling her what to do? A lot of these girls have fatherless behavior where they're not in a place where they want to listen to no masculine man tell them what the hell they want. When you see all these girls on TikTok and all these girls in LA, that all these girls are trying to be like the girls in LA, right? They want the kid that looks a little bit like Brad, right? With the nice TikTok face where he looks like kind of dope. But Brad is on his shit, dude. He's going to tell the girl what he likes and what he doesn't like, right? But they want that one little, like, a lot of people like to call them like the soy boys, right? The
Mhm.
soy boys are those people that are going out there and like, yeah, baby, and like touching that and like talking to them in a way where it's like smooth, not absolute a male figure coming in there and being like, what the hell is good? Not toxic masculinity. No, we're treating every woman like a freaking gentleman, going out there and provide for them, make sure they're absolutely taken care of, right? But if this girl's so fatherless behavior, like has nothing but just like nothing exists in where authority, why the hell would she want to change for you? And even if she did find sense in it, my friend, she will backlash on you because she feels like there's nothing in for her for the long run. Girls will not change for you, dude. No matter how much she loves you, she will not change for you. And if anything, she will point the finger back at you later on and be like, get the hell away from me. Oh, leave me alone. Oh, and that's what you need to just, dude. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna say this on this pod. I'm gonna say this on this pod right now. If you are driving your car on the first date and she says some red flag shit, you're gonna either kindly pull over, be like, exit from my car, or you're gonna kindly drive to her apartment and be like, please exit my car. Or if you've been talking to her for a certain amount of time and you had her father's phone number, call that guy up and be like, come pick her up right now because I'm not tolerating any of this bullshit. That would be me, Brad. That would be me if I am in a place where I have my momentum trying to take up on life. And I'm like, yeah. I have sense in going to talking to girls. Dude, if you did that to me right now, I promise there'd be more girls left on the freeway than rock and pebbles just like screaming throughout the street. Because for me, dude, if I hear one thing that I don't like, it's not like I'm just gonna leave somebody in the street. That's not my point, right? My point is that there is so much obscured bullshit. The things that people see online and they're just consumed by, dude, we have more zombies than actual human beings. Really add weight to what I just said, dude. There are more zombies and people are consumed by what the whole system to where they're fighting for it and trying to defend it than other people that have their own mindset, their own thoughts about things, dude. And all of these girls are being consumed and they have nothing but idols of just bullshit, dude. Look at the things that women are consuming. Even the good girls, they'll still be consuming the things that are absolutely making this world evil, tarnishing, making us not even human anymore, bro. Like, everything is cringy. Everything is like not taken seriously. Living by the whole motto of nothing is serious and all this stuff that doesn't matter. And like looking down the road of like, oh, I'm a bad bitch and I'm feminist and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm going to have fun for this certain duration of time. And I'm going to do all these things that absolutely ruining my, like, my essence of a woman to where they'll realize later on of what the damage they've done. Or even men as well. Going out there and doing shit that doesn't feed them doesn't matter. You, my friend, for the person that's watching this, right? Brad, on the other hand, absolute don of a guy, all the way from Jersey. He's gonna give you some the whole thing about this channel, guys, or the whole thing about this pod that we basically summed up is that you need to figure out the base of the day, the things that you don't want, the things that you do not need, the things that you need to niche out, the things that are absolutely going to make you get to your goals sooner. That's what everything that I preach about. And I know that Brad preaches about that a lot as well, is that you getting to the point of where you're destined to be. And once you're there, then I'm gonna switch my content, man. Then we can start niching down to the things you need to be doing and whatnot. But like, man, the whole, you know what I like to say, Brad? I heard this quote from one of my friends. He said, dude, if you don't have 10K, if you're not making 10K a month, you can't buy into the game of poker of life.
Mm.
Think about that. If you don't have $10,000 coming into your bank account a month, you cannot buy into the game of poker. What does that mean? Dude, all these big G's are out there. Dude, going on yacht parties, doing all this thing. They're traveling the world. They can go out there and go, oh, I want a baguette. Let me go over to Italy right now and go get myself a baguette. Let me go have some cheap coffee that's gonna taste so nice alongside the Italy breeze and having an Italian broad over here, an Italian broad over here, not in Jersey, but all the way in Italy. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like you come to that point, and that's what I want you guys to do. Like, can we just not? If you just dialed in for 6 months to a year, do you think that won't be able to find yourself a stream of income that's gonna make you 10 grand? I think it is. Does it have to be 10 grand? Possibly 5 grand. That's exactly what a lot of people are working a 9 to 5 to make, man. So that's just like got a little passionate about the whole like freeway stuff over there, man.
Yeah.
You guys, I feel like you guys get my point.
Yeah, because it's ultimately like you're the only person, no matter what, you're the only person who's going to be able to help yourself. Like we can't just sit here and and maybe by some chance, by God's miracle, someone will walk into your life and just be like, "Hey, I'll mentor you," and they're so much farther along, right? But for most people, it's like nobody is coming to save you. If you decide to sit here right now and don't try to figure anything out in your life to make things better, you're going to be that way for the rest of your life. And so it's so important to try and, figure out the ways to make your life better and increase your mental health and all this stuff because if you don't, well, you're screwed essentially.
Yeah, nobody's gonna save you, dude, but you. If you're thinking that when you're going out to your friend, like it's funny, you can go around and vent to somebody. Oh, my life, my this, my this, my that, my that. You know what the conversation is gonna end with? All right, man, you got this. What did you just do, dude? What did you just do? Shit that doesn't matter, bro. You literally just sat there, venting. Oh, my life, my life, my life, my life, bro. And you don't understand that nobody on planet Earth is going to go out there and try to invest their time in you to fix you and get everything right and get everything done. You need to understand that every single person, and this is the hard truth of it, people are, there's scales of, and this is not a bad thing, there's a scale of selfishness, right? People are so selfish to the point where they would literally, okay, I'm sorry this time. People are so selfish. People are so selfish, Brad, to the point where, like, when they're even talking to you, they will give you enough of their time, but it's more of a thing where I need to go to pay attention to shit that I'm doing. That's the type of selfishness I'm trying to talk about, you know? Because not everybody's gonna go out there. They're gonna possibly look at you as either like a bug or this is gonna absolutely hurt my momentum. Like even other people are viewing you as a threat, the same way that you're looking at everybody as a threat. You know, I'm not gonna add any names or talk in specifics, but there was a person that I knew that I didn't know him for all of my life, but just I knew of him. And very recently I was able to have a human interaction with him. And this person used to be somebody I used to look up to another degree. You know, I fantasized so much about being like this guy and just like the lifestyle that he had. And later on, I came out to find out, or when I first saw him, you know, that he was very much consumed by alcohol and all these different things that was absolutely like changed him as a man. You would not be able to tell that you can such a traumatic difference. And when he came over to my house, I was in a place where I kind of looked at him like, man, I want to just help this guy. I want to spend my time just trying to change this guy back to what he was before so I can look back up to him again, dude. And what I realized, I ended up telling my dad about it. He's like, dude, hold the horses, man. You know, because that can absolutely be the most toxic shit that you can ever get into. It's almost like a girl with with a bunch of amethysts and a fatherless father. Like it's the same thing, you know. It's like that's what you're gonna be getting yourself into. Like the girl that you're gonna be going into her room, she's doing some tarot cards and she's like, you know what I mean? Like there's a high probability of those girls absolutely tarnish you. I've seen so many of these girls being like fatherless behavior than actually being respecting themselves and going on like I'm not trying to be niched out and make fun of anybody, but just trying to make a entertaining point over there.
Right. Nour, really appreciate you coming out today. It's been a great conversation.
Of course, Brad. I think this is the first self-improvement or first pod for the Nour Sanif channel.
There
Very
we
much
go,
appreciate
man.
you putting me on, man. This is really
Where
good.
where can people check you out?
You can find me at Nour Sanif. It's literally on the. It's not hard to spell, but Nour Sanif YouTube, Nour Sanif Extended on Instagram, and just Nour Sanif main page on Instagram as well.
All right.
And
Sounds good.
this is my time to shout some things out. Oh, if you would like
Oh
to
yeah.
get some free consultation, reach out to me on Instagram. Reach out, send me a DM saying Mighty Brad, and I'll either add you to my close friends list or I can actually add you to the group chat where we keep everybody self accountable. Things that they want to do so we can get you to do them, and the things that you don't want to do so we can get you to stop doing them and make you a top Don like Mighty Brad over here from Jersey.
All
Boom.
right. Sounds good, guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Take care, guys.